Hello and welcome to the F Word. This is the panel. I'm joined by Howard Leigh from the Sunday Herald Sun. Of course, I'm Brent Diamond. We're here to talk about the big topics in VFL and AFL footy, and we're here to talk about Brendan Fevola first up. Howard Leigh, obviously a fantastic couple of weeks for him, 4 weeks really, isn't it? The way he's kicked all these goals. Is he a massive chance, do you think, to make it? We've had a big talk about this. I think he is. What about you?
Well, he's all the talk. I mean, he's the talk of the town. I mean, he stole the show last week out at Casey in the last home and away game. 10 goals and plenty of Carlton people were there. But he's a slight chance. I mean, he's growing by the week. If he gets a bag this week in the qualifying final against Port Melbourne, he'll really have, I reckon there'll be a lot of scouts down there watching him live this weekend.
Well, big breakthrough, wasn't it? Fremantle coach Mark Harvey saying that he's a little bit interested. Well, didn't shirt front the issue, did he? He absolutely said that he's a chance.
Yes.
And I think that, well, Brendan must love that, Howard.
The only thing is, he says he won't travel interstate, but if they put a bait out in front, it's like a mouse. If you put a bit of cheese, will the mouse take it?
Well, that's a good one. I like this one. The Fevolution could be coming back to the AFL.
What a good expression.
But you never know what could happen, because, I mean, what sort of factor will he be against Port Melbourne on the weekend, do you think? It's going to be a big factor.
Well, he'll have 2 or 3 opponents on him, dropping back. Who's the likely fullback at Port?
Well, Jared Dalton, I think, is the number one. I think he'll take him, and it's just a matter, and he's been in very good form as well, we have to say, and maybe even into the AFL for him as well. But you just never know what sort of factor Fev can have on this match. It's going to be a very interesting one. I still think Port Melbourne are the real deal, and I think they will get the nod ahead for this one. But Casey, they're striking good form at the right time, aren't they, Howard?
Well, Matthew Bate obviously played a great game last week, 38 possessions. Will he get a gig with Melbourne next year, do you think?
Well, I think it's another Brock McLean issue, isn't it? I think they're both in the same bracket. They're former teammates, and I think they're in the same bracket with each other. But, I mean, he was good last week too, wasn't he? And we're talking about emotion here, because Kyle Matthews with that brilliant 5 goals, and he's really adding a lot of value to the Casey Scorpions at the moment, isn't he?
Just explain what transpired. He was involved in a nasty incident. What
incident?
Happened?
Well, he was knocked out, wasn't he? Unconscious, apparently, at G-Bung Polo Club in Hawthorn. G-Bung, given a big bung, and all of a sudden he come crashing down. He was in a coma, wasn't he, for a couple of months?
It was a life and death situation.
Well, I think it was at some stage. They're saying, and even Brad Gotch said on the weekend that he didn't even know that some Casey teammates were very emotional, because obviously, well, he didn't know that Casey teammates were emotional, but he thought that they would never play with him again, which is quite an amazing thing. It was a very emotional time for them on the Thursday night when he got picked up and or selected.
Before that transpired, was he a chance of being an AFL draftee?
Well, I think he was. What
position does he sort of play?
He's playing that midfield sort of half-forward role. He's kicking a few goals. The good thing is about him is he gets in and under. And the thing is, he's wearing that helmet at the moment. You think he'd maybe back off a bit, but
he went in hard last week.
He went in very hard. And maybe you can compare it to Graham Pollack, maybe with that famous incident. And I mean, he wore that helmet, and probably
then he dispensed with it.
That's right.
And I think 3 times he was knocked out. This year in the Waffle, where he retired. Twice last year in the VFL.
That's right.
So he didn't wear the helmet. But Matthews, both have had serious head injuries. It is a concern, but I always think Nathan Burke used to wear a helmet, didn't he?
Yeah, well,
and Paul Kellery. He wore it, in AFL, Melbourne and St Kilda. But I think it's good. It gives you a sense of, well, you know, your safety is a little more paramount with a head guard, particularly after a brain or an abnormality in your head.
Well, that's true. Well, I think the emotion's there for Casey. It just depends on how much they've got. I mean, obviously they've got Fev. They've got a lot of talent down there.
Yes, they have.
Port Melbourne, they've dropped the bundle the last 3 weeks, but I think they're a massive show still to win this one.
Well, the reason I go along with you, Brent, is because they've got a quick midfield, something they haven't had in the past. North Ballarat, Jared Fitzgerald exposed their lack of pace in the midfield. I think they've got that now. And Etihad Stadium, well, that'll test them out. But if they've got pace in the midfield, they've got a good defence, the best in the business, and it's reflected on every home and away game. So they've had a close shows. Gary Ayres was happy about those close shows recently because it made them work hard. They had a great last quarter last week. Box Hill didn't fall away.
Well, that's right. And it was good to see them. I mean, they were so resilient. It's like they know the taste of victory, don't they? They know that September's just around the corner, and they're here to play. On to North Ballarat and Williamstown, gee, that's going to be a massive clash because it's on a neutral ground, Box Hill City Oval. Last time Williamstown played there, they absolutely dominated against Box Hill.
They did.
And it's going to be very interesting to see if they can into that form again? What do you reckon, Howard?
Well, Peter German's got to change the recent course of history. Willie have got the finals, they've fell away badly. North Ballarat, Jared Fitzgerald's reconstructed like a house. He's rebuilt the side there. He lost a lot of his gun players, and he's rebuilt. Can they win 4 in a row? Or can Willie break that barrier?
Exactly.
Of being finals failures.
That's right. I think North Ballarat, geez, they're a tough, hardened side come September. I really like their bodies, but one player that's going to be missing, Howard, is Mark Gregg, their skipper. He's going to be really... Well, I think he's got an ankle concern or something.
Okay,
even there's doubts over the skipper of...
You mentioned Brett Johnson. What happened? He got injured?
Well, he was going on and off the ground like a yo-yo. It's unbelievable. And I just think that he really is the key to Williamstown.
He is. He's had a stellar year again.
The good thing about Williamstown, though, they're becoming the Western Bulldogs. What do you reckon? Because 24 listed players, they've got a chance to qualifying this week. 24 listed Western Bulldogs players.
And they played the lot.
Well,
they won't have enough interchange. Now, I just want to change direction because it's relevant. And there's talk that Footscray or Western Bulldogs may go back to the name Footscray. I like the old name, having been involved. Footscray Bulldogs.
Yeah.
You like Western Bulldogs?
I'm a tradition man too. I like Footscray. Footscray all the way. And especially, I think, with what's happening, they need to really revamp that place. They are the Footscray Bulldogs, aren't they?
Oh, I do. And of course, people make fun of the name Footscray.
Yeah.
They don't. Western Bulldogs, you can't make fun of that.
Well, I can't associate any player with him since Danny Delray. Can you? I mean, he was one of the all-time icons, wasn't he?
He was. Was he a good friend of yours?
Oh no, I'm not quite sure if he was a good friend or not. But anyway, we'll talk back onto the VFL. Obviously, Williamstown, I think they're a massive show to push to another prelim. And I think that they've got the strength, not only because of the Western Bulldogs players, but they've got those top-up players. You've got Ben Jolly, who really is in good form. Brett Johnson, if he gets up. You've got a number of players, even Dane Ramp, who's really come...
Lindsay Gilby playing?
Well, I think Lindsay Gilby's a chance. I think
on the bigger grounds, better. Now, after Port narrowly got home from Willie in the match of the season at Werribee, Avalon Airport Oval, Trevor Monty said to me, "They're not unbeatable, Port Melbourne." That was his quote. I mean, he didn't give away too much. Didn't want to beat it up because you don't let the cat in the door, do you?
No.
But he just said they're not unbeatable.
They're definitely not unbeatable.
But they've had a stellar season.
Well, they have. I mean, undefeated. I mean, when can we see them again? I love the way they play. I really do. I love the way Gary Ayres has really moulded this group. But then we're talking about the next final because the Werribee Tigers play Box Hill.
Yes.
And it's going to be obviously a cutthroat final.
Home ground advantage over the Tigers, is it?
Yeah, I think that'll get them over the line. What do you reckon, Howard?
Yep. So the first week, our tips are
Werribee Tigers.
Yep.
Over Box Hill Hawks.
Is that because of a home ground?
I think because of the home ground. I think that'll get them across the line. Even though Box Hill are just really, they're a dangerous team, I reckon. Then you've got I think Port Melbourne over Casey.
Yep. Even if Fev kicks 9.
Well, Fev's kicked 5 or 6 and they still have lost by a big margin. So I think the factor of Fev playing isn't that an all-time high, but it will add interest to the match. What
happens if it's a draw at full time?
Well, I think they do they play again? No, they don't. I don't know. Is it extra time? I don't know. Well, we're all confused here. Who knows? We'll have to check with John Hook on that one.
Good on you, Brent.
But and the other final, who have we got in the other final?
Northern Bullants. Well, they played poorly. They played well against Port for 3 quarters the previous week, but last week they got blown away.
That's right.
Who do they come up against?
They come against the Bendigo Bombers, who have been in really bad form.
Both teams
very sour, isn't it?
Very sour. So what do you think?
Well, I think the Bullants just in a real close one. I think Shannon Grant will have the boys up and running. I think.
Yep. So Bendigo Bombers to win there.
Yep. Beautiful.
Do you think Bendigo or do you reckon?
Oh, sorry, Bullants.
Bullants with Darren Harris. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
They'll have Carlton players in there too.
They will. It should be a sterling final series, Howard. Thank you very much and keep punching.
Keep punching. Correct. Beautiful. Well done, Brent.
Thank you. Cheers.